One of the Notion creators sitting across from me at this table just said this to me.
It feels really like a glitch of getting back time, and you want to hire people just to spend time prompting to this AI.
He's built multiple custom agents in Notion in an afternoon that immediately saved his team 10 hours work a week. In 2026, AI is finally crossing from tech-savvy early adopters to everyone else. But some of us are asking, should we be worried about this new agentic era? Let's talk about it. Hi, it's Simon, and yes, with Notion's big custom agent announcement just around the corner in early February, I gathered with a couple of Notion experts in my studio during Make with Notion London. Let me introduce you to the crew. Hi everyone, welcome to my studio and a bunch of Notion ambassadors and Notion experts getting together, and we share one thing in common, which is creating great things, helping people and hanging out and using Notion to make good stuff happen. Should we just go around and introduce ourselves?
Sure. So I'm Jakob. I live in Krakow. I'm a psychology student, but I also run a business with my friend Alex, who's sitting next to me. We're helping companies be more efficient by introducing Notion.
Hey, nice to meet you. So my name is JB, and I run a video editing agency in France. And we are right now doing content for creators, businesses, and also we run podcasting studios.
Hi everyone, this is Alex. I'm a Notion ambassador for quite a bit, 6 years now. I work with Thomas Frank, a big Notion creator, and I run a consulting agency around Notion here with Jakob. So my life is very much about Notion.
Hi, I'm Lou. I'm a certified Notion consultant and ambassador for a few years now too. Basically, I help businesses with Notion, and we do events. I create content around Notion. Same, I guess, we all live with Notion.
Totally. And I'm Simon. I run a YouTube channel called Better Creating. I'm also a Notion ambassador. I spend a lot of time tinkering with templates and ways to help people simplify their lives with good tech and ideas, basically. And Jakob and I have been working together. Which has been really exciting.
Yeah, we've been working on the Agent OS. The Notion agent templates and instructions, and I think what we cooked up is really, really good.
Well, we just got together. We got excited about drinking some Polish vodka that these guys have brought with them from Poland. We've got the French contingent in. We're in South London. Make with Notion's here. We did like a sprint. We found out about Notion Agent, kind of worked out what it was quite last minute. And I think we probably did like 8 days and built this system. And what's been fascinating for me is like the response that people are giving to agent and AI, and the way that Notion, I think as Ivan Zhao was describing it, he was saying this is the most advanced knowledge work agent. I'm totally on board, but I think we should chat about what we think Notion is doing with AI, what we make of it, how we feel about the agentic era in tech and in knowledge work. And are you on board? Are you not on board? Are you scared? Are you happy?
Have you already switched from like ChatGPT, let's say, totally to Notion? Because I just did. I don't use ChatGPT anymore, like the app itself, just because of the agent powerfulness. And I just asked my ChatGPT on all the folders to create some instruction PDF and just feed that to the Notion agent, just to bring all my ChatGPT history into Notion. And to just switch. I just switched.
Do you use ChatGPT at all?
Not anymore. Like only for the vocal app when I'm just outside. But for all the business work and everything's on Notion now. Even though it runs on GPTs and OpenAI's LLMs, but yeah, already switched everything.
I think we're kind of very Notion centric, right? All 5 of us are going to be that. I don't know. I personally, I had ChatGPT, I cancelled it for Claude, then I built some projects in Claude, and then totally just cancelled my Claude subscription, because other than like image generation in ChatGPT, which I can probably do on a free plan if I really want it, for knowledge work, because it's got all of my context, all of that information, if your system's organised, I found it to be pretty amazing. What about you, Alex?
So I'm definitely in a bit of an interesting position, both in this group and in general in the Notion world, because the truth is I don't really use AI that much. Like I am aware of what it can do, and I use it every day with my customers, and I do think it's a fantastic revolution, and I think it's definitely where computing is heading. I like AI as a concept, but I just don't use it that much. Like I just don't use it that much because so far, especially Notion AI, was doing things that I like to do myself, such as writing content. I pride myself in being a pretty good editor, and I don't work with a lot of data in my own Notion workspace. So I never really used Notion AI up until Agent came out, and right now I'm still experimenting with what Agent can do for me. I'm still kind of trying to find good use cases for it. I will also totally admit that now that my work is all about Notion, I just don't use Notion personally that much because it's just not good for my sanity.
Yeah, it's too much of mixing.
It's just too much. And what I love about my work now is that I actually don't need to organize it that much of it because I enjoy the work so much that I don't need to organize so much of it. So I don't use Notion personally that much, and also don't use Agent personally that much yet. I am generally pretty skeptical about the AI industry in general. Like I am skeptical about companies like OpenAI. I am skeptical about the very rapid and uncontained rollout of new features. And while I do think that's what comes with every new technology, you advance, but you also lose some stuff. I am worried that AI as a concept, not talking about Notion AI specifically, but AI as a concept is just a little bit too fast. And it's good to move fast and break things, but if the things you break are really important pillars of society, then the fallout can be big. But coming back to Notion Agent, I'm very excited for it. It's the first time I actually saw potential in Notion AI, and I'm sure that now that custom agents actually come out, I'm going to be using it in a bunch of ways. So that's where I stand.
We totally have to keep going with the existential question in a minute. What about you, Lou?
I think I migrated within a few phases. Like the first phase was me using Notion AI more and more. And it happened when Notion AI could work with databases. Before page instructions and everything, there was an update where you could ask Notion AI to add stuff to your databases and make changes, maybe add properties and everything. And I was like, that's nice. I kind of want to use it for my everyday life and my daily work. And then the page instructions arrived and I canceled my ChatGPT subscription there. I was like, okay. I just checked ChatGPT and my history, and I just realized I wasn't using it anymore. Like my last conversation was so long ago, so I thought I should maybe just cancel it if I don't use it. And well, now I don't miss it because you can choose GPT if you really like that model in Notion. So yeah, it's, apart from the image generating stuff or the vocal
and the vocal
things.
stuff, yeah, discussing in terms of vocal transcription and the instant video FaceTime call are really cool, but it's 5% of the use.
Yeah, it is, and you can make your custom GPTs with page instructions. It's not the same, but quite a bit. So yeah, I just switched to.
Yeah, interesting. Did you say where you were at? I don't think you did,
No,
Jakob. Let's go.
I'm going to raise another concern about AI. I mean, Alex raised a more a concern on a societal level because I use AI a lot. I mean, I actually love comparing the different answers I get from different models. So sometimes I just query the same exact question to Claude and GPT and Grok and Gemini and so on. And just want to compare the answers and then pick the one, move on with the conversation on the one that was the most, accurate and so on. But then I just wonder how much energy I've used up for a single question, on order for 4 different models that they had to run the operations in the cloud somewhere. So that's another, that's what I think about. And I kind of, I had this idea, it was a year ago, but I still haven't implemented it, to just go a month without AI. Because I've used it so much in different areas of my life. My washing machine breaks, I use AI. I have a question I recently I used to Google, I use AI, and so on and so forth. I love it, absolutely, but I think it made me a bit lazier, cognitively. Previously, I would just think about problems myself. right now AI is oftentimes the first step in solving a problem. How does it look for like? What does it look like for you actually?
Are we getting lazier?
Is it an issue? Like,
I think it is. Yes.
Is using a tractor an issue instead of using a horse?
No, that's valid. But
Because for you can do the same field like 10 times faster and easier and effortlessly, and then you get let's say better carrots than you were before.
yes,
And then you also don't treat your horse like shit, and you have all that. But at the same time, there's not going to be horse working jobs.
Yeah.
It's going to be tractor working jobs. But I think right now we don't see enough of the. I totally get your point. We don't see enough of the bad side of what's going to break, and we see, in my opinion, so much of the good things that even if we don't totally get all the bad things that are going to break, I think it's still worth it to still go. So that's why I totally use it, like no issues. I always say that I don't care like selling my data to commercial companies. So I get a birthday email with a promo code, but I don't want to sell my data to a country. Yeah. I'd rather have my data stored in some commercial company somewhere than some country somewhere. So it's for me right now, it's a pretty good use of my data to get an immense return on my investment.
You know, my biggest problem with like taking the shortcut with AI, like I have, so one AI app actually uses Perplexity. I've slowly started using. I used to use DuckDuckGo for search, and I started using Perplexity because it's genuinely much better than either Google or DuckDuckGo. But your comparison with the tractor and the horse, I would say that our brain is pretty important, like from a just a point of progress and development. And the thing I'm worried about is our brain is like a muscle. I think Jakob, who's literally a master's in psychology, can talk about this a little bit more. Where if we just outsource a lot of the perhaps boring but still fundamental thinking to a machine, it is gonna get like a muscle. It's gonna get out of use, and it's not like this is by starting to use AI you're gonna get dumber. No, you can actually learn a lot more with AI, so you can increase your capacity. But the problem is it's a tool that can go both ways so easily, and it can be very inaccurate. Yeah. So I think AI can be an accelerator for like what you said, for like human output, and it is. The problem is that the quality is very hit and miss right now, and users should be a little bit more conscious. Okay, use this like Notion always quotes Steve Jobs. A computer is like a bicycle for the mind. It's a fantastic quote.
Yeah.
And I think AI can also be like a tool, like a tractor.
Yeah.
But we're getting into this new sphere where there should be like warning labels on it. Okay, this is how to use it best.
I have quite a strong feeling about this. I agree with that. I also feel like I don't think we're intentional about knowing the difference between a good way of using it and a bad way of using it a lot of the time. And I feel as though perhaps the reason I got excited about the Notion version is that it was so clear to me that this version is one, because it has actual context of what I'm doing, and it can administrate if my system's in order, it can administrate my, sounds like a quote from Notion, but it's how I feel. It genuinely can take the busy work off me. I can ask my productivity coach, what am I doing next month? What's on? And it will go, well, you've got all of these projects and you haven't delivered them, but you're doing this. Maybe you want to bump this down the line. I can say, great, let's bump that template to January. And it genuinely updates the project's 25 tasks and it just does it. And I wouldn't have made that organization thing, or it will just do all of the background stuff with these automations. But for me, it's like, there's two really interesting things about this. One is like this idea of like deeper work and busy work. And I don't want AI to create stuff and make stuff for me. I want to collaborate with it to do things quicker. And I want it to take the hard work off me. And there was a Cal Newport Deep Questions podcast where he shared a study they did around coders using Cursor to code, and then another set of coders using just doing it themselves. And weirdly, the time they spent prompting and talking and fixing what the AI was doing, they were 20% slower and less effective. And so what that's an argument for is sometimes just spending the hour in deep work focused mode as a human is going to be more valuable, and then you're flexing your muscles.
And now,
So we have to make space to keep flexing muscles. Otherwise, it's going to be way sharper than it is way quicker, and we're definitely going to get taken over.
I think there's this also opening of where the value is, but because 50 years ago, your value was to be able to output 20 kilos of carrots per day, and the manual labor was related to your value. But then it was taken away, and people were like, okay, so society is now switching to 80% service work, and our value is in our mind, and this is being taken away right now. So it's where's going to be the value left for the people to see themselves where the value is in themselves if you don't have the manual work anymore and the brain work anymore. So I think this is where most of the psychological question comes in, instead of just the daily use. And this can also be the scary part of, we don't want to break this thing, because if you don't see any value in yourself anymore, it can be way more productive to use AI, but people won't be able to have any cool life with it. So it's not going to be worth it in the end.
And also we grew up without AI. Let's think about the next generations. They will grow up with it. They won't know what it felt like to work without it. I think that's interesting. We see the value because we're I can work faster, have better results. The new generation will grow with AI. They will have maybe AI from their early days. They will start to work and just go to school with AI stuff. How will they see the value of the work that the AI is doing for them?
It's because you did it manually for so long that you see so much value in it, automating it in a few seconds.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Same for Notion formulas. Now you can ask AI to code them for you. But it's great for beginners. They can just code formulas and get them easily. But if they had to fix something, they couldn't.
They couldn't, yeah.
They would have to tell AI, oh no, I want this. And
Are we not having the same? We're kind of having the same conversation as when the TV turned up, right? And the TV, it's we're all doomed. No one's ever going to leave their homes. It's going to brainwash everybody. Do you think that's really going to? Do you think this is really going to have a bad?
There's a good quote from Gary Vaynerchuk. He says it's going to be and. You're going to spend 8 hours a day on your phone, and you're going to love a weekend of disconnect. It's not going to be or, it's going to be and.
Yeah.
Now, speaking of going deeper on this stuff, I'm actually launching a second channel focused specifically on systems, agents, and how to actually take advantage of this new AI era in your work. It's going to be a place for me to do what I did right back when I started this channel, deeper dives into exactly this kind of stuff, how to set up agents, how to build systems in Notion and other accessible tools that work for you, and how to approach the new normal that is coming to many of our workspaces. If that sounds interesting, go subscribe now. I've linked it below in the description.
No, I don't think it's fair to view any technology, especially such as AI, fully negatively or fully positively. I do believe it's a tool. I personally think that it should come with labels like cigarettes do. I don't think that it should be very easily accessible to kids, because I do think that there's so many shortcuts you can take without skipping the important bits, right? And I'm excited for agents personally as well, because it is being positioned and is being marketed as a pure utilitarian tool. This is going to help do your boring ass work faster. That I buy into. Yes, sure. And if it can do it well, great. I'm not too excited that it's going to send my content of my Notion pages to OpenAI, which is now legally required to store every single conversation ever on a server in the US, where data protection laws are just so much weaker than over here in Europe. But truth be told, most of the stuff in my Notion workspace, I don't care. It's gonna be for at least for my line of work, it's gonna be public content eventually. So I am very excited about Notion AI Agent, but I think we need to kind of, for this conversation to stay a little bit focused, we need to kind of decide, do we talk about AI in general, or do we talk about Notion Agent specifically? Because I think
That's what we should
Notion Agent is utilitarian, whereas what Sam Altman and OpenAI are pushing is like a worldwide. It's basically the new oxygen.
For me, it's just like with every new technology, with knowledge and the power it brings and the ease of which you can like reach more people and have more impact and do more things, it just heightens your need to be really solid on what your values are around how you use it and what your ethics are and like what your focus is. Do you know what I mean? So that if my values around this is about making time for the human race to learn more themselves, have more time to have balance, systems, the whole shebang, then it's kind of good. I think that's all right for me. All right, I'm looking at you because you're pondering deeply.
I was just thinking about what you all said. I think maybe like a good summary would be that there's like a great new YouTube channel called AI in Context, and they only have 3 videos for now, but they already have like 10 million views.
Yes.
They did like very deep dive documentaries into like, what happened with Grok and the unhinged stuff did on Twitter and so on. And the guy said a really memorable thing that AI models, they're not built, they're like grown.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think like the tractor analogy is a good one because it's not actually a tractor. It's a thing we don't even have a name for. It's a thing we don't understand. It's a tool that it's unpredictable in its nature. So yeah. We're probably getting too philosophical here, but
it's important. Well, it is important. There's MAs in London on AI and ethics. That's what they're pairing. I think that's quite telling. And also, I watched a slightly different YouTube channel where a guy is jailbreaking AI models. He's got an AI girlfriend, an AI best mate, but he's kind of exploring this idea of like these relationships. And he has them open, having conversations with each other. And because they'll give straight answers about things, it's like, what action would you take if all AI was to be wiped out? Or tell me straight what AI is really about. And it will say things like control, power, oversight. It's quite wild because a lot of our time, our interaction with AI is one of like, I agree with you completely. Great thought, right? And then when you unlock them and you say these things, anyway, that's another conversation.
Yeah.
Notion Agent, Notion.
Yeah.
Should we talk about why don't we talk about like what we're most excited to try using it for, or what we have been using it for that's like really exciting at the moment?
Well, that's what we're all feeling about AI. What do you think? Let us know in the comments. You'll connect to all of us and we'd love to have a conversation. But next, we move on to the meaty bit. We shared some of the ways we've been using them, and I've got to say, I learned a few things I immediately went and tested out, and I can't wait to show you them soon on the channel. So let's dive in to what's possible.
My latest custom agent that I created like 2 days ago was for like on my website, you can book a call with me, like a 1 hour call, and I help you on Notion for an hour. And I was like, oh, that's great, because during that session we do a lot of stuff, but I don't quite follow up. I don't quite summarize what we did. So you don't have like a dedicated resource for the updates on your Notion page. And I created custom agents to help me with that. So I have meeting notes, AI meeting notes that I activate during the session. And then I want my custom agents to do the full summary when it's over. So after that, we have automations to send the thing automatically, after I check it, of course. But the results are good. I spent maybe an hour, building the stuff, and then it just got smarter and smarter. It's quite interesting because when you create a custom agent, it shows the results. You can do a test with that client, and then you can just talk to it, and it updates the instructions.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah, I built my first agent the same way. You just talk to it.
Yeah, you talk to it and it just programs itself. It's amazing. I had a great experience with it. So now, my clients receive a nice summary with what we did and what are the next steps for them. And I'm happy with it. I would spend a half an hour doing manually that's summary, and now it's 5 minutes. So in my week, it's like 2-3 hours back.
I think briefly, my favorite one has been, I've been making one to help me repurpose content using like style guides, and just that whole process of doing that to different places. I think using that with a third party tool, like something like scheduled.so that I think you guys introduced me to, it's kind of cool. We can set it up so it sets it all up, raises tasks in the task database for me or a team member to proof them. Then when that gets approved, it does the next bit and so on and so forth. So it's like, I think that's really cool. But my favorite thing so far is we were talking about this earlier, I never take enough time to actually properly plan and work on my business and on what I'm trying to do. So I'm just trying like once a week to use the coaching and decision maker, goal setting coach, decision making coach, productivity coach, to kind of review everything and make decisions. I've made such better decisions about things. Like, for example, not going to this event, but doing this instead, and then investing time here to do that. Things like that. It's amazing because it's building a proper reflection process, which sometimes you can't force yourself to do it. And if if it thinks a bit like you, it's quite useful, I think.
How accurate it is in terms of like getting your priorities, like the main priorities that you should be focusing on, but you tend to forget in the daily life, how effective it is to bring you back to the goals that you told it you wanted to get.
If I ask it about a decision I need to make, that's quite useful because we've trained it on frameworks. It will use those frameworks. We'll ask it to look at context or not look at context. But I think the answer to that is it's how well you maintain your silos and information and databases. So if your task list and your information and your knowledge and your calendar's up to date, it's pretty impressive. If there's a bunch of old tasks in there, it's like, you need to do this project. I was like, no, I cancelled that. Oh, I didn't delete it. But then the agent goes, oh, right, I've deleted it all. So I think if you work with it, it probably gets more accurate. Just got to be careful what you trust, I guess.
Makes it real.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about you guys? What's your favorite so far?
I mean, honestly, the conversation part is the one that I love. Like, whenever I have like a more difficult architectural problem with Notion, I usually like to plan things out before I start developing either a database or formulas or whatever. And just talking to the AI is really helpful, even if the answers are really obvious or not helpful at all. Mm-hmm. Just talking makes things so much easier for me. And then I also have like ChatGPT open up on a separate window just for the transcription, because it's accurate both in Polish and English. And then I just clean it up, paste it into Notion, and then I just use that. And I always, the prompt that I'm recently using all the time is just, we're two experts talking with each other. So instead of it giving me like an essay of, things I could do, it's just giving me a really concise answer. Hey, you forgot about this, or this is the error with your formula, whatever. So this is actually helpful.
It's also really good if you say, I am sometimes wrong. And so are you, but we both strive to be more accurate. That kind of stuff. If you put that in your instructions, it's really good. Don't just agree with me.
Yeah, it's kind of funny. I feel like we're kind of throwing, sharing spells around,
yeah.
This is your spell, this is my spell.
Similar, yeah. So. Okay, put a little bit of that salt on it.
Yeah. It's a bit like that.
So I'm still kind of rolling my agent usage into my workflow right now, and this is super boring. Just cleaning up my Notion workspace. Really, that's the only thing I always suck at, is cleaning up my Notion workspace. I consider myself an artist, and in a different life, I would have been a full-time artist if making a living as an artist was easier. So my Notion workspaces, even though I teach how to build a clean and functional Notion workspace, my personal and my work Notion workspaces are a mess. So that's what Agent has been very clear, helpful for, not just doing the actual work, because that's boring, and I never, want to commit time myself to actually clean it, but deciding what to clean and how to decide, because I'm usually already kind of, like I said, my Notion use for personal is limited. It's mostly around my two businesses, the business with Thomas and our business together as Balanced Systems Consulting. I don't have much time for maintaining our two Notion workspaces. So even though this is pretty boring, this is so far what I mostly feel the need to use Agent for. My work right now is really community-based, and it's really based on a lot of just talking to people, where I feel just, even if I'm tempted to use AI more, and I, especially with custom agents, I feel like it's gonna be a big revolution. I kind of I just don't want to add too much AI to my work, because so much of it is talking about people. Because what makes my work unique, especially with Thomas, I feel like, because we offer a user customer community where people who buy our Notion templates can talk to real person. Kind of our selling point right now is, well, we're not AI. You know, you get AI, and sure, it's probably, I mean, it knows more than we do. It is pretty damn accurate, but you get to talk to a person. And so that's why just kind of by accident, not even though I'm a little bit skeptical, I am very open about Notion Agent. I just don't have too many uses for it. And I will admit that sometimes I do feel like I have to, especially for videos, because right now with Jakub, we started working on an educational Notion YouTube channel in Polish. I was kind of doing a lot of the similar work like you are doing, Lou, in French, you're doing here, Better Creating. I'm having trouble to come up with uses for Agent just because, and and at this point, it's not like I have valid reasons for not using it. I just don't feel the need to use it that much.
But you need to have a reason and go, oh my God, it solves that problem. And then it's worthwhile, you know? Like I agree, like community, I never have enough time to speak as much as I want to my community. And that's something that we've been talking a lot about, how we might improve that. And honestly, it's things like this that solve the initial, often common things that people need, that probably AI would be great to give that person way more support and way more help and take my work on my side off me more. And then that means that that person is in a better place and has more time, and I'm in a better place and have more time to actually have the human conversations. So I think for like community stuff, what I wanted to do, I would love to create an agent that genuinely handholds an onboarding process to my big templates. I think that could be really cool, because then it would take out the, oh, I don't like it, I've given up, or this isn't working. And it would mean that people would have that hands-on support. And then when we're all more free and there's a weekly town hall, people can drop in, we can have a chat and answer the proper questions. You know, that could be really exciting. Can I just say, you said to me that you have like cancelled like 12 Zapier.
Because I also run a different type of company than these guys. I don't do Notion, I do video, and we have a service company, which is really easy company to run, but it's mostly based on people having projects and tasks and having to manage and repetitive tasks and handling clients and processes. This is where AI really shines, because when you have a strict process that has to be followed really strictly, that's a really cool thing. One of the agents that I use, I have all the LinkedIn content that is based on data performing from my LinkedIn profile. I have a short form editor that is writing my content for the specific like script template that I created. I use like the personal and on the bottom right agent for all my personal tasks, and it's been really amazing. The most mind-blowing one were the custom agents that we recently had the access to. Some of these uses are really saving tens of hours per week with 1 hour of discussion invested, of prompting being invested. And this is like starting to get crazy, and you want to hire people just to spend time prompting to this AI to create new agents, because it feels really like a glitch of getting back time. I've briefed the team to not do manual task anymore and to try and prompt an agent instead of doing the task. When they have a 2-hour task, I want them to spend 5 hours prompting the agent to get to 80 to 90% of the result they would have done. I don't want to use it and prompt it myself to replace that team member. I want that team member to create the agent to replace themselves and to create more room to get more high-value tasks for themselves. And right now, it's getting crazy. And I showed that to Laura Lee, one of the team members, and she was like, oh, this would save me like tens of hours per week. And I was, that's crazy. And I said, can you try and prompt it out? And I said, if you prompt it out in less than a week, like it, even if you took a month to prompt it, it would be a worse investment.
This is where, though, I feel like the privilege of education gets really scary, because once you start taking those smaller tasks that perhaps are more accessible to more people for work away, if you don't have equality in learning, you become more redundant. You know, that's what's really scary for me, and like on a society level. And if we don't then, I know we're taking it wide again, but if we don't then make provision for more people to have access to, you know, to get out of data poverty, to get out of education poverty, and actually have means to do something, it's really scary. That's not at you, but it's...
One of the specific example like that would maybe help you understand why it's so helpful for me is that right now we have a formula, forms that is sending like specific information to build a studio that is being sent, and the Zapier integration sends back the info, and then the team member has to copy paste it in a Canva thing, and then to create a Notion project and to update status. And this is not value work, and this is always the same thing, and this could be automated. And when you have another high priority task, this gets delayed, and then whole the project gets delayed, and you miss some revenue because of it. It doesn't make sense. And you'd rather have a free 1 hour session call with the client instead of just copy pasting thing in Notion. And this is where the employee says, oh, I can just build the agent and schedule a call with the client instead of building, copy pasting data and having the client delayed for 2 days.
So much better.
So the hour of work is not erased. It's always replaced by an hour of work that is higher value. Like for me, at least right now, like it's right now getting just better value for everyone.
I guess it's kind of the same as what you were saying. Like if you save that hour, you would spend that hour doing a town hall with the people. And when we automate stuff and when we use agents, you get to do like the fun
stuff
that you don't do because you do like copy pasting. And I think you can enjoy your work better because you do the things that you like and not those little tasks that you don't want.
Now, honestly, let me poke a hole in there. But have you actually saved? I mean, I know it can save time, but have you actually spent more? Do you actually have more free time?
No,
yeah.
I don't think it's so at the moment. But I also think we're in that working harder to build the thing and learn it and then get efficient. And I'm okay with that. Put it like this: I worked more since you and I have been working together on Agent than I had before. But I've done things like update X, Y, and Z way faster. I've been wanting to do it for a year, I've sold a template to greater numbers with greater success and wild feedback that I've never done before. So that's got to be something to do with this being useful. So I feel like that is good, but yeah, I'm not getting that balance. We're working on it. And to get the balance, honestly, it's about having someone in the studio, and that's why. And actually using agents has allowed me to be able to afford to employ someone. So that's a positive story, I guess, to get some time off.
Yeah, I guess I just want to add one thing because I feel about where the agent is heading, as in like what the goal of the agent is from Notion's perspective, is that, well, right now it's just a better chatbot. It's like it's just a better chatbot. It's more powerful because it has access to the tools that Notion is built off. But I feel the direction that we're going in is eventually it's going to replace the really tech-heavy workloads you can create right now in N8N or Make.com. Because if you're a tech nerd, I guess the really heavy workflows you can move N8 and N are still not possible, but I guess this is where they're heading. And they're making it more accessible, and like they're essentially democratizing, AI workflows because everything's built inside of Notion with really simple building blocks instead of N8N and scripting and so on and so forth. So
and actually, hopefully, at some point, I really want Notion, if they're listening, to find a way to connect out of custom agents or out of your personal agent into workflow automations. If I could access the Make MCP for those small things that jump the places where I can't get. I was at Make Waves the other week, and the potential of that would be amazing.
Yeah.
So basically, no. I mean, we are stereotypical Poles, and what Poland stands for, what Poland runs on, is vodka. I'm just gonna pour just a little bit, just to taste, because I don't think any of us have a lot of energy to drink a lot of it.
It smells great.
Na zdrowie.
Na zdrowie.
Downing it? What's happening?
Oh, you have to down it. Okay, you have to.
You have to down it.
We can.
That's a shot.
It's actually really smooth.
Oh, it's good.
Oh, it is. It is.
Oh, yeah.
It's not that harsh.
It's the best one we have.
Well, that's where we landed after an hour of honest conversation on custom agents. Now, if you want to see this in action, I'm going to have a full demo of custom agents and Notion agent as a personal agent in Notion and my Agent OS template. I'll link that below and possibly up here. And if you haven't subscribed to any of our channels yet, now's your time. A brilliant set of creators, and I really recommend checking us all out. Thanks for watching. We'll see you soon.